Hey, Lou, you realize if we find an uninhabited island, bro, we might have to leave somebody behind with like a homemade flag.
We can leave somebody behind. You're acting like I don't have that concept in mind. I'm ready to leave behind everybody that's ever taken the fucking jab. Okay, you get me? Like, I have no fucking worries about that.
So I just gotta finish my logo and print it, and I'll get a flag for you under a company. It'll be able to do everything you need. They'll all leave you alone. But I'll take care of the flag. But yeah. So I was thinking about while we were saying something. I was like, shit. If we do find like a decent sized island that's like where the fuck, I gotta leave somebody behind with like a flag and a radio and some other shit. So I'm saying we need something bigger than a 10-man boat. Because I'm not just gonna leave somebody there without like some filters and shit. Equipment. A decent radio to put up on the mountain or the ridge or whatever we find. It's like once I get there and drop somebody off, I want to be able to come back. Like more equipment. 3D printer with some hempcrete and build a big ass house. And free. Aw, man, Glatt took off.
Hello, everyone. How y'all doing?
Hey.
Slow day,
For the moment, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I got a little free time away from the family, so I figured I'd talk on here for a bit.
You?
The noisy ones are at the house. So I'm sitting here with a rapid charge propane 24-hour emergency. It looks like they got some propane here. Now they got all these propane tanks. I wonder why they don't just use gravity to store that propane.
That would make so much more sense, Hank.
Be a lot cheaper. Those tanks are expensive to maintain.
Wait, what was the question you just said? I didn't hear the last of it.
Those tanks are expensive to maintain. You got to have them certified. If they ain't certified, they go to the trash. So you got to get new tanks all the time. Looks like these guys never heard of an anti-flat earther. Maybe we should introduce them so they could save some money. They could save 15% or more. They figure out how that gravity works.
You mean I thought they would save 15% on their car insurance? sorry, I'm being ridiculous. But
No, that's what I was doing. I was doing a little play on that.
okay. Yeah, that would make sense. And I don't know. I mean, I guess you can make it really a complicated conversation about gas pressure, but I mean, isn't it something a fifth grader could understand, probably, Hank? About gas pressure? You know, like, are you smarter than a flat earther / fifth grader? I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be a pretty good show. Are you smarter than a flat earther?
Yeah.
Right. And
If you're interested in that, oh, sorry. If you're interested in that, get with Michael J. Smith, because he's interested in that. You guys could just fly by the seat of your pants and do it.
Yeah, we could go to a big city or somewhere and sit up next to a college and be like, if you think you're smarter than a flat earther.
Ooh. Now that sounds extra exciting. I think it would be more fun playing with people in real life than people on the internet.
Oh yeah, because they might get physical. If they get too hands-on, they might be deserving getting blessed by the sauce, getting some hot sauce.
Okay. I'd be really interested in reviewing a fifth grade science book. I mean, it's been like a really long time since I've looked at one.
You might be surprised at what they're teaching fifth graders these days.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not really sure where the science really begins or ends, but yeah, I've seen some stuff and some stuff accessories.
So, do you think fifth graders know the scientific method? Or is that more like middle school kind of level?
I think it just depends. It depends on whether they're in public or private. It depends on whether or not, it was in bold print in the textbook.
Huh. Well, I would say public school. I don't know I don't know how many private versus public there is.
Well, I went to both,
Okay.
and it's a pretty big difference. It's mainly just the standards, and your average public school teacher doesn't get paid enough to care the way a private school teacher will.
I suppose so.
Yeah, I mean, I used to take my youngest sister to school, and I once confronted her teacher. Well, her teacher taught math, history, science, and English.
That's a lot.
Well, the standards were so low, they weren't really teaching much of anything, and I kind of complained about, the homework load, being that it's a fourth grader was only required to do 4 math problems a night, and they hadn't memorized their times tables yet. And I was like, what's up with this? And she said, take it up with my local state representative or county representative if I don't just flat out.
Yeah,
garbage.
You know what? My daughter just started second grade, and she's been head of her class since daycare even. They started testing her. They had her tutoring other kids, peers, and shit like that all along. So luckily, she's doing good. Apparently, her mom and I have been doing something because I'm yet to see any kind of homework at all in second grade. Is that I don't remember. I mean, didn't we have some, like, even though if it was light, we had some homework in second grade? Or was it like third
Absolutely.
grade that started?
I had homework in kindergarten, like like circle the red triangle kind of stuff. You know, like
Right. Just get you in the habit of doing it is really what it was.
yeah.
But yeah, I still haven't even heard about a thing called homework with my daughter.
Well, the competition's going to be, not up to par when it comes to her entering into the the workforce or the real world, whatever you want to call it. So good on you.
I mean, to be honest, I know me and her mom. Like, her mom went to college for early childhood education. But she's busy working. I don't think she's doing much of that once she gets home. You know, it's cooking dinner and making sure that she brushes her teeth and go to bed. But it's, I suppose, just being in the environment of maybe two. Okay, well, I have my problems with her, of course, because we're not together. But her mom is overall pretty level-headed for a woman, I guess. Anyway, some of the credit's got to be due to parenting, but I think we just got super lucky. I think my daughter just has some natural potential that not all kids have.
She probably also has a desire to learn.
Of course. Yeah, that's a big thing. Yeah.
I specifically remember when that light died out in me for a while in public school. I was like, oh wait, this is all a joke.
Yeah, no, since she's always been asking like questions that are way above her head, and I know at least when she asks me, I don't do the whole like you wouldn't understand. I'll explain it as best as I can in a way that I think she will, and she'll still have questions, and I'll usually answer those like as best as I can. And sometimes she really does understand things at a higher level than most parents would ever think their child could. And so like they grasp a lot more than what they're usually given credit for. At least in my case, like I said, I think I'm pretty lucky. But yeah, I mean, you're only limiting your kid's potential when you withhold information from them and stuff. If they're asking a question, give them an answer as best as you can.
Hey, Dad, what's a blowjob?
You know, when you take the leaf blower and you do a good job. Yeah,
That's where I was going.
obviously.
Can you go blow job my driveway, please?
Yep.
Hey, Dad, what does trans mean? Alright, I'll stop.
I would just hand the kid a dictionary and be like, if you ask me a question and I can find the answer in this book, we're gonna have some issues.
Trans are long metal things that carry people on journeys. They're all together in carriages.
There you go.
Yeah, I get the point when it comes to some of that sexuality stuff. The thing is a no answer is irresponsible, especially today, because they're picking it up. If you want them to form their opinion about what it means to have a sexuality and all that stuff from YouTube and from the TV and from school and from other kids, you know, like, fine, don't give them an answer. But if you want them to understand it the way that you understand it, you're going to give them a fucking answer.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
think, yeah, education. You should be first and foremost responsible for your children's education. The schools should sort of just teach them how to like put their name on the line or something. You know,
Yeah, if you turn
put your date on the paper.
if you turn around and say, "Oh, I'll tell you when you're 18," then they're going to find out somewhere else before that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, my parents made that mistake with my youngest sister, and now she is a perfect. She's like the picturesque NPC at the subtle age of 17. Literally, the last words that were spoken between us was something about she was screaming about how a man or a woman can still be a woman with balls, and I was just like laughing as hard as I could, and then it was like, I hate you because you don't like because you hate like it was just insane. If you're not on board with their insanity that's been programmed into them, you are like you're basically Hitler. It's unfortunate.
You're offensive.
Yeah, no, I mean this whole conversation got triggered during the female Chinese weightlifters during the Olympics, and my dad and we just said like one little thing to one to the other. I was like, whoa, are you sure this is the female weightlifting Olympics? And then avalanche of social justice. And yep, I'm hoping she'll get over it maybe in her late 20s, but it's unfortunate that I'm going to miss out on yet another half a decade because of the indoctrination and brainwashing. It's too bad.
She just needs to find level-headed female role models.
Yeah, well, I'll be praying for that.
Yeah.
I actually can't think of a single one. Maybe some of the females on this server, but
Well, yeah, definitely.
definitely not in on the media or anywhere else that I've seen. It's pretty slim pickings out there for the world.
Yeah, they don't advertise level-headed people.
No, it's not profitable. I'm wondering how much are vaccine companies making per shot, per jab? How does that work?
Well, who's losing money? Because if someone's paying for it, then there's got to be
Anybody who pays taxes.
Someone.
Anybody who pays taxes. In fact,
that's how it's going to happen.
the United States taxpayers are actually funding other countries' vaccines because we decided we were going to give them the vaccines also and pay for them, like our government did. Any vaccine our government buys is paid for by us, the taxpayer here. And if they decide to give it all to, Nicaragua or whatever, like that's on us too. We pay for that too.
Good Lord, that's not good.
strangely though, it's a slight blessing in disguise because this whole pandemic bullshit has woken up more people than I think we could have ever dreamed of, really, in such a short time.
If that last thing about the American taxpayer is covering it for even other countries, it is news to you. Think about this. So they give away the vaccine for free to everybody in the country if they want. In fact, most states have some kind of stimulus where you get paid $100 or something if you take it. Um, we're paying for those stimuluses too. We're paying for that $100 gift. Uh, if somebody has a job who has now been mandated where they have to take the vax or get tested weekly or get tested twice per week, testing is not free. The vaccine is free. In fact, you get money. Testing is not free. You have to pay for it out of pocket between $50 and $300, depending on where you live, per test.
Are you serious?
Yep.
I've never been tested, so I didn't know it. I thought it was free. I thought it was something they were giving out for free.
It wasn't available. It was before the vaccine came along.
But you still got to
In a
test
lot of
yourself,
places.
even though you're vaxxed. 'Cause,
Yeah, no. Once you've been vaxxed, you don't have to do testing. You're vaxxed and you can get it and you can spread it, but you don't have to test.
I was in a room full of family members recently, like 2 days ago, and everyone is vaccinated except for me. And I brought up the point that even though you're vaccinated, you can still get quote unquote COVID, whatever it is, and that it's more obviously not about this disease and taking away American freedoms. And there was crickets in the room. And, I mean, they kind of just all were like, anyways, yeah, the vaccine's really important. Just kept talking about it. And by the way, I was like gritting my teeth for about 10 minutes listening to just nonsense, utter nonsense.
Good for you. Good for you. You don't want to damage your family relationship.
Oh, I'm as gentle as a bunny rabbit when it
You
comes
sound
to
like
those people, because I just there's no point. I mean, if those people aren't gonna get your back, no one will really. You gotta.
I've got a big family, and my dad was the last of 8 kids. My mom was the first of 5. There's only a few people out there that are going to make a deal about you got to make sure to get vaxxed, or I'm not going to go to Thanksgiving with you unless you're vaxxed, or I'm not comfortable with you being here. There's like 1 or 2 people that maybe they think that way, but because they're outnumbered, they're going to keep their fucking mouths shut. And if they do make a big deal of it, I have no problem leaving them behind.
Yeah, I mean, well, for my family, like, first strike was the Donald Trump presidency. That put a schism in my family where, some people were for, some people were against, some people didn't care. And either way, it kind of just spread everybody into their own camps. And then COVID was like strike 2 and 3. Strike 2 would be believing that it's a real pandemic. Strike 3 would be accepting that the government has your best health interests in mind for the first time ever. So, yeah. Did anyone see the Project Veritas videos that came out? There's a 3-part series, and they've got Johnson & Johnson employees / scientists saying like, oh yeah, don't vax your baby. Like, you don't even need to get it. Don't listen to what the media says. Those poor guys probably lost their jobs, but, what are you going to do working for Pfizer?
Earth is flat and that is that, yeah.
I just drove all the way to the store and realized that I don't have a mask because I don't own one. No, I'm just gonna leave.
Fuck it.
No, the guy that works in there, he's on his off days, he works in a hospital as a janitor. I know this because I've been in there without a mask, and he gave me read me the riot act. So,
Well, he's got a larynx, right?
I don't want to punch anybody in the larynx, okay?
Why not?
Because
2
violence.
birds, 1 stone. It'll shut him up, and you'll be able to grocery shop.
Let me tell you, if violence is the answer, then you and I are both part of the problem. Remember that.
No, I'm not.
Yeah?
I haven't hit anybody yet. I'm just saying
That's
words.
the thing. That's what I'm saying, though. Like, I've been in conversations where people are like, "Oh, you need to fight this. We need to stand up to tyranny." Oh, I'm sorry. Am I over talking someone?
No. Go ahead, Platypus.
I'm trying to jump in, honestly, but
Oh,
there comes a point where when violence is pretty much the last resort. When people are using violence against you, and I don't know how to describe, like forced injections, other than like it's at this point they haven't like held at least in the United States, they haven't held anybody down and jabbed them that way, as far as I know. But even that through coercion is a form of violence. It's a form. It's you have made somebody your enemy, and you're harming their own personal well-being against their will. There's you can stand up non-violently or protest. Maybe you can march the streets all you want. It's not going to get shit done. There comes a point where if they cross the line, that you have no choice but to retaliate violently.
Is so putting someone between a rock and a hard place with what you spoke on, would that be considered coercion?
Anybody who's told that they either need to take it or they're going to lose their job, that's coercion.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
The job is their livelihood. Yeah, that's how they feed themselves, how give themselves shelter, and any kids that they have. When you take that away from them and without giving them they don't have an option. They don't have an option. They say you made your choice. That's not a choice. Not at all.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
well, that's what I say, man. If he's gonna want you to restrict your breathing, catch his larynx, right? Restrict his breathing. Shit, it's tit for tat.
Well, that's why I said if violence is the answer, then I'm part of the problem.
Well, no, it's not violence. It's natural law.
Yeah. And I mean...
By the way, I'm kidding. Don't fight a security guard.
I know you, Justin. Oh, wait, that's not Justin. I'm sorry. Who the hell
I
am I
don't know.
talking to?
I've been seeing some videos of some pretty violent protests in other nations where I see the masses like way outnumbering the cops and beating the shit out of them, and I love it. Every second of it.
That's different than a security guard at a grocery store. Right? You're both just trying to eat. He's just trying to not lose his job.
Yeah, I haven't met any scientists that developed a vaccine lately. I haven't met any people that work at the World Economic Forum or something like that.
Right. That's different too.
Yeah.
But I hear you, Lou. I hear you, buddy. Yep, I'm right there with you, Lou, on that point for sure. Go ahead. Sorry, Platypus.
No, that was it. That's all good. I'm actually at my destination, so I'm going to wish all of you a happy evening.
Likewise, dude.
Yep.
You're good to hear, man. New guy here, Mason. Prove gravity. Let's go.
Masonetis?
Yeah, you just got checked in up top.
Alrighty.
Don't be shy.
I think I made myself clear. I just want to listen first, alright?
Well, what do you want to listen to?
I don't know, anything. Whatever your viewpoints are.
Well, a bunch of flat earthers don't sit around and talk about like points on flat Earth. They usually wait till somebody that doesn't think the Earth is flat to chime in so they could discuss it.
Well, how's everyone's day been? How about that?
Good.
Yeah, I'm good, man. Thank you.
It's good.
Well, listen, you're the only person in here that isn't a flat earther, I think. So, unfortunately,
Yeah, I feel like I'm being bullied.
unfortunately,
That
we're
one-
going to have to pick on you. But I promise we'll be nice and we'll try our best to do one at a time. Okay?
Look, I'm not here to debate. I just want to hear your viewpoint. I think I've made it clear.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. And I don't want to debate you either. In fact, I don't want to debate ever. But anyway, so can I just ask you 3 quick questions? And they're just yes or no questions. Oh, unless of course you have an answer for them. But so far we haven't had anybody be able to actually answer with other than no, or it's just a belief, or both. But that's okay. Because I used to have these beliefs too. So 3 questions, and then I'll leave you alone. Does that sound good?
Sure.
Okay. So the first question is, do you know of any time in history when someone or a group of someones has measured the curvature of the Earth, a direct measurement of it?
No, not from the top of my head.
Great. Thank you. Number 2, do you know of any time when someone or a group of someones has detected the rotation or movement of Earth?
Nope.
Cool, thank you. And the last question is, do you know of any time when someone or a group of someones has proven that there can exist gas pressure without a container?
Without looking up these topics, no.
Super
because
duper.
I haven't.
Yeah, you've been honest. That's great. See? Three honest answers real quick right in a row. Take notes, Globers. This guy's honest. Thank you so much, and I'm going to leave you alone now. Anybody want to chat with him? That's cool. You got any questions, my friend? Let us know.
Yeah, I actually do. What's your guys' concept of gravity? Do you guys not believe in it? Or, like, no, I'm just.
Can I answer this one?
Yes.
All right. So when you talk about gravity, you know there's 4 different types, right? Can you name the 4 types?
Gravity. Alright, so that just cleared up my question then. Because, hold on.
Did that just break your mind?
No, break my mind.
That broke your mind when what he just. I know it did.
Hold on. No, I'm just trying to remember the certain viewpoint question.
Let him say it one more time for you, just so that you understand the question.
Dude, my mind has not been broken. I'm just thinking of my question.
Well, you're the one who brought up the topic. I just want to point that out.
Exactly. That's what I. Yeah.
Okay, so alright.
So maybe he needs to ask you one more time so you understand.
Guys, give me a lecture. What do you guys take on gravity? Go.
I just want to make sure you understand what we're talking about here. Because we've been talking about it before you got here, years before you got here. Okay? Just letting you know.
All right. So the 4 different types. Are you ready, bro?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. So first, there's Newtonian gravity, right? Which is the law of gravity. They turned out to be wrong, and then they came out with the Einsteinian gravity, and we think that they're wrong because they've never been proven scientifically. So after Einsteinian gravity, they came up with the theory of dark gravity because they couldn't explain how gravity worked at the galactic level. But the only real gravity is the one that we can scientifically validate. Now, do you know how the scientific method works?
Nope.
Okay, so you need 3 things: independent, dependent, and control variables.
Oh, yeah, no, it is.
Right, to form a hypothesis, right? And you want to test that hypothesis. So here's the thing. If a caveman saw water boiling and he wanted to figure out what caused it to boil, he would do a test, right? He would form a hypothesis and say, I bet the heat from the hot spring is what caused it to boil. So he adds heat to a cup of water and it boils. And he takes away the heat and it stops boiling. And he adds the heat again. And because he manipulated the cause, he witnessed the effect. And he proved that you can boil water with enough heat over a long enough duration. You follow me so far?
Yep.
So this is empirical. Anybody in their kitchen can test this hypothesis and prove that heat causes water to boil. So, if you wanted to prove gravity, you would have to do a hypothesis test. There's no scientific hypothesis, no valid hypothesis in Einstein's paper that he published. There's no working hypothesis in Newton. All right, so the only one that we can come up with, let's say you got an apple, right, in a pail of water, right? You might say, well, what causes it to fall? Well, you remove the water, and the apple does what? Sinks to the bottom, don't it?
Mm-hmm.
Right, now you add water again, and it rises to the top. And you take away the water, and it sinks to the bottom. So, just like with the heat, I manipulated the cause and watched the effect. So in this case, the cause was the medium changing. Now, do me a favor and Google the term specific gravity. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Now, this is falsifiable. You can do this in your kitchen, in your bathtub, in your sink. You can do this at the pool. But apparently Newton, he didn't do this, and neither did Einstein. But Archimedes did. Archimedes' principle, we still use that to build ships to this day. And he was an ancient Greek. So, what are you looking at there in specific gravity? What are you looking at?
I got the one from Britannica. So specific gravity, also called relative density. I got the formula RD equals P substance over P reference. And P substance is the density of the substance being measured, and P reference is the density of the reference.
Right. So other than man-made technology, which is synthetic flight, right? I'm not talking about airplanes or helicopters. But anytime something rises and falls in nature, it's because of the relative density to its surroundings. So if you got, let's say, a lightning strike, and hydrogen comes out of the water, what's going to happen to that hydrogen?
Wouldn't the hydrogen just
It's not going to be held down by gravity. Hydrogen's going to float up, right?
Yeah.
Because it's less dense. Well, how about the sun heating up the water?
Heating up the water then. I don't know, because we don't know. No, so really
Heats up the water. Can you hear me, bro?
You're cutting out a bit for me.
Mic check.
Yeah, okay, you're good now. Right, I'm put you. King left. Not mind.
He'll be back. He's just resetting the room.
I think it was my internet. Not his.
So gravity, who knew, right?
I know gravity. That's a thing.
What do you think gravity is responsible for? Like, after he's explained this.
Gravity is based. After explaining that gravity basically itself has no purpose.
Wow.
That's interesting. Sort of changed the meaning of the word pretty quick when you look up and do some research, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like somehow it was responsible for the Earth being a globe. Just a minute ago in your mind, right?
Yeah.
Does any of this have to do with the shape of the Earth?
Not with the knowledge I can associate with. No. I can't think off the top of my head, no.
Yeah, I mean, he gave you 4 of them, and 4 of them, none of them had to do with the shape of the Earth, right? Apples falling from trees, bending and warping of space-time, things rising and falling.
Yeah, you guys make some good points there, actually. Yeah, I'm just looking at the Einstein. Yeah, I'm just looking at the Einstein. There isn't actually no hypothesis. What the fuck?
Yeah. Well, I mean, how are you going to experiment with space and time? Like, what are you going to... You can't experiment with space.
Yeah. What the frick? Fuck, with the one of the quote-unquote smartest people forget that.
Well, even Einstein said it was a mind experiment of his, merely a mind experiment. That's what his papers say. It's all in his mind.
Wow.
Actually had no real test or evidence for it, just thought it up in his little head. Called it space-time.
And I'll get a Peace Prize for it.
Yeah, can you imagine? I mean...
Wait a sec, guys. I'll be right back.
Sorry about that. Did somebody take over?
No,
Yeah, we were hanging
going.
Yeah, you got it. So when you ask what do you think about gravity, it's kind of like saying what do you believe about gravity? And here we like to stick what we can prove. And you can prove that things go up and down in nature based on their relative density.
And that seems to be what they're calling gravity, right? Everything else is just sold as an idea. The only one that they say is real is this one, which they call density too. Like, okay, fair enough.
To me, it seems like these scientists just make up words for things they can't explain. Did you guys hear that?
For sure. Yeah, I would question if they're even scientists, though, right? Are they doing any science? How can you call yourself a scientist without doing science?
I think they're just lying and manipulating nature.
They're magicians.
Exactly.
Storytellers.
They're trying to cast spells.
They're the ones who manipulate reality. Because all I know is that things just fall and rise. That's all I know, like, that's just the way things are. They fall, and then they rise.
Up and up is up, and down is down, and no, one direction is all we got. Always blew my mind when you think about being on a globe and people, up is every direction. Next thing you know, up is down.
Yeah, eventually. Yeah, eventually it's all flipped on its head.
That doesn't make any sense, Like, if you're on the globe, what's really up and what's really down? It doesn't make any sense. It's confusing.
Yeah, down is eventually up.
Yeah, which is very weird. Doesn't make sense with anything.
Meanwhile, in Australia,
down under.
Right. Man, that's crazy stuff.
the United States we're standing sideways on the globe. How it's given to us.
Mm-hmm. And isn't it weird, like, when you send a weather balloon up with a camera on it, and, like, when I watch those videos, I don't ever see the weather balloon. Cool, because, look, like, if a weather balloon goes up into, like, the atmosphere, isn't it, if it was a globe, wouldn't the weather balloon be, like, somewhere really far away since the globe is spinning. Do you guys get me?
That's the concept, right? Wouldn't it
Yeah.
just fly away like 1,000 miles per hour? Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't. Like it lands somewhere close by, not that far.
Not that far. Yeah. You're absolutely
that's-
correct.
Yeah, see that's common sense. I don't get why people don't think about that.
Because they believe that we're all just rotating at the exact same speed, even though we're falling.
Yeah, they have this lockstep idea.
It's just locked into their head.
And then they call it, oh, it's gravity. That's how gravity is. I'm like,
Yep.
fuck out of here.
Welcome, Quantum. I saw you sneak in.
Yeah, that whole idea we're moving, but we don't feel it, right? Like moving so many different directions, but you don't feel any of them because, yeah, it's relative.
So weird.
You can tell it's spherical and moving by how flat and stationary it is.
But it makes them liars in other cases with, like, they say that bullets experience Coriolis and all that, which is a complete lie.
Yeah, that's complete lies right there. Complete lies.
But they've made a claim with that, and then they've gone against that claim by saying, "Oh no, the actual atmosphere moves in lockstep with the Earth." So they've undone their own claims from beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Problem with that is gas doesn't adhere to anything. That's not gas behavior whatsoever. How does that work?
Yeah, they do the same thing with the pendulum, right? The idea of Foucault's pendulum. We can detect that the Earth is moving, but you can't detect the Earth is moving. Like, they're trying to have it both ways at the same time.
Yeah. Here's the reason why you can't see or detect that the Earth is moving. It is moving, but here's the reasons why you can't detect it.
And it's a long list.
So if the Earth were spinning, is it true that we would probably fly off?
Oh yeah.
Probably.
I mean, in the vacuum of space, are you?
Well, and a
seeing
pendulum
that?
would never stop.
I don't even know how to see that, to be honest.
You don't know how to see it exactly, but see, talking about the pendulum, it doesn't just start automatically.
Right, no, the people push it. Man starts it.
I mean, that just doesn't make sense that you are pushing it if the Earth is pushing it. Wait a minute.
You shouldn't need to touch it if the Earth is moving.
Yeah.
Why should we even have to touch it? Yeah. Why is it so difficult to just set it still and wait 24 hours for it to start moving around? Wouldn't that happen if you just waited 24 hours? Then it would start moving around.
Yeah, or before that. I mean, shit.
Well, they tell you you can't feel it because it's a consistent speed, right? But at the same time, they're telling you it's wobbling. Like,
oh gosh, yeah.
Right. They don't know what constant acceleration means in regards to motion. And then they'll say, "That's conservation of momentum." That's some pretty impressive conservation of momentum for all of those different directions, for us to feel none of it. Think about what you're saying there.
Yeah, constant speed, but it's an elliptical orbit where you accelerate and decelerate. Like, where'd the constant go? You know?
Man, I know the Earth is flat, and wherever I go, I always see like I'll look at a fountain or like at a plate, and I'll be like, "Oh, that's what the Earth is." But then I'll tell my friends or family, they're like, "What the hell are you talking about?" I'm like, "I don't know, man. I'm so awake. I know the Earth is flat. Like, I have a hard time explaining it."
Yeah, it took me a while to find the words to, and some people will never get it, right? No matter what words you choose to use, they're not going to get it.
That's when I come into like that's when I talk to them about perspective and going up like 200,000 feet to the atmosphere and showing them that the Earth is still flat. There's no curve. You know, that's like what I do.
Well, it's really simple though. I mean, it's like how far away before a boat disappears? Because on a ball it would disappear. It's that simple. You just have to know how far away. And
it's one big ball.
Yeah, there's the small ball idea, right? That boats are going over the curve, or the big ball idea that you got to go to outer space. But the reality is, we can know just by doing math. It's not.
Listen, if a sphere can turn into a pear, any kind of fluctuation is possible.
But the Earth is too big. But you can see.
Wait a second.
Boats.
So the Earth is too big to see what it is.
Yeah.
But it's a sphere.
Correct.
And boats go over the curve.
And boats go over the local curve, right?
Yeah.
But when we get like a
mirage curve.
But
it goes over the local curve and it's locally flat.
Oh God!
Get a P1000 and zoom in all the way somewhere, and you'll see like the horizon just rise up to your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no curve. Things just
somebody the other day said the geometric horizon is the independent variable in their experiment. I lost it. I quit the internet for a couple hours.
For an hour or two.
Yeah, I just took a break. I was like, well, shit, I'm going to break everything or just take some deep breaths.
Yeah. That happens.
Yeah, geometric horizon is an independent variable. Whew. Just like the sun, right? They do say the sun is an independent variable. So let me get this straight. You're going to perform an experiment on the Earth, and the independent variable is the sun. So you're going to say that you can not only manipulate the sun, but you can take it completely out of the equation and then put it back in?
Yep.
I do want what they smoking, dog. I want some of that now. Roll it up.
Were you here when the guy posted the fish tank?
No.
And he said that oh my God. So he had all this stuff in the fish tank, and the light was bending, of course. The laser was bending through the light, but only when he got down to this metal piece that was rounded at the bottom of the tank. But only then. So if he was up above the metal thing, it wasn't like doing any kind of rounding.
Was the metal like?
This is just his proof that light curves.
Mm-hmm.
So can't find the video, but it was just idiotic. Holy cow!
You guys are know a lot more than I do. So
that's okay. Kind of You're doing great. Stick around, man.
Yeah, please stick around.
With like that kind of stuff, like you guys spot it, like you guys spot it, But probably with me, like I wouldn't really understand it that much. You know what I mean?
Oh, you will.
You will. You'll be fine. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Everyone is a flat earther.
Oh, it was
there was never a globe. Wait, was that Nick West? Go ahead.
No, it was a Mick West video. I'm gonna put the link in right now.
I do love that loser so much. I love to throw him under the bus.
Is that one?
Oh, what's that? The bending atmosphere that creates.
Yep, that's it. That's the one. So click on that one. Watch that one. I always watch whatever Globers give me. Okay. Because I have to make sure I get it all into what they're actually looking at. And the first, I'm going over it. Like I'm going over as I'm watching it. The first thing I saw is that he has sugar. He has this weird curvy, like metal object that he sets at the bottom of the tank, which I don't know until the he tries to test it. And then when he tests it, the laser only bends when he gets down to the metal object. I mean, doesn't the sugar and the metal with the water kind of conduct something? A medium.
Yeah.
Wait, do we live in sugar water?
That's what I was asking him. Do we live in all of that stuff with the metal on the ground like that? Is that the Earth, the metal on the ground? I mean, really? This is your test in reality? Him in this shed testing with the fucking glass aquarium? I mean, are you truly looking at what you're posting for me?
Put a fish in some concentrated sugar water, see what happens.
Oh my gosh.
Can you say non sequitur?
Yeah. I can say non sequitur. Question is, can they? Logical fa la 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 see.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to make a song for them. On the
Christmas is coming up, so you know.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever heard of that the moon is a reflection of our Earth, and all the dark spots are actually land?
Yes.
I've heard it. It's interesting. Unfalsifiable.
It's very
It's really
interesting,
interesting.
but we can't prove it without going there and actually testing. So that's hearsay.
It does feel like that whole series was a build up to that one really big questionable claim, whereas everything else in it was quite good.
And they said that the Vibes of Cosmos, who makes these videos on YouTube, like he goes into it really deep, and basically the moon is flipped upside down.
Yep.
And all those dark spots are actually
like a mirror image.
Yeah, and all those dark spots are actually our land, and the North Pole is actually not what we think it is. It's like in the center of the moon,
Well,
right?
it's a there's a magnetic north, and then there's a geographical north.
What's that?
So in our portion of the entire Earth with lands unknown, we do have a magnetic circle, a magnetic north. But there's also a geographical north. And so the magnetic north goes around the entire Earth of the unknown lands, like an entire. Think of like an astronomical clock, kind of that type of thing.
I get it.
Yeah. Oh, it's fascinating stuff. I love to speculate. And I know that it drives some people in here crazy. But because it's really
fun to a limit. It's fun to a limit, but then when when you have all these other trolley people just go off of that. Well, you said it. No, you're not listening.
Oh yeah, it's wild speculation, but it's pretty coincidental if you ask me. There's a lot of coincidences with Vibes of the Cosmos, what he puts out. In fact, he has a whole book for people that don't know.
Yeah, see the thing that I it makes me really think about is like with ice melting, right? Now is that something to do with the ages, timeline, and is it like, the sun and the moon or something something's processing, so it's uncovering another part of the Earth, ice that was never touched by the sun before, or
Well, like
it's
I
creeping
said,
and creeping. Because with the solstice, is it? I can't remember which
here,
term.
let me find I've got a couple pictures from the EWAR stuff.
Because Flat Fact was also talking about how.
Oh yeah, I've watched a video from that channel too.
Yeah, because she was talking about how we're losing like 15 degrees north and south each year.
Okay, so I have this group of group of pictures, but I don't have it finalized and detailed. But just for the sake of sharing a bunch of photos at once, I don't know if anybody's interested. Just screenshots.
Sure, go ahead. I was like seeing some new things, new pictures.
Okay, so I just posted it. It's just kind of like in the rough draft phase. I haven't finalized it, but
Is
like
it in the
all
lobby?
no live stream voice text.
Oh, I see it.
I named it Ewar, but that's incorrect. I should change it to Vibes of the Cosmos, so forgive my mistake.
It's all good.
Well, I mean, it did come from Ewar, but I need to make sure I give credit appropriately when I put in the details. But yeah, so there's 4 corners to the world. 4 quarters. Excuse me, not corners, quarters. I'll share this picture. Hold on.
So, is that like every north that the 4 quarters have?
Okay. Oh, well, it's the thumbnail. Duh. Sorry, I'll delete this. Duh. So yeah, the thumbnail. In the middle, that's geographical north.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're in the north. So, and then there's kind of the in between. Well, But yeah, you have to forgive me. I apologize. It's been a while since I've reviewed this stuff.
That's pretty interesting. That's not the first time. That's my first time seeing this picture.
Oh well, I'll pass along the Google Drive for both Ewar's documentaries. And then, are you subscribed to Vibes of the Cosmos, his YouTube channel? Okay.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about the Google Drive, they're put into episodes, and the one about the moon is episode 7 of the Lost History of Flat Earth. But the other documentary, What on Earth Happened, that's equally a lot of, collaborating a lot of knowledge.
Ooh, it looks pretty good. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah. Definitely worthy of study and, a starting point of study, I guess you would say. I mean, you want to blow somebody's mind, watch that, man.
It's very thought-provoking. Very thought-provoking.
Mm-hmm. I love that stuff.
I mean, I like the stuff he talks about, I think, on the What Earth Happened, where he's talking about, like, the idea of, like, the foundlings, relocating. What if, it's just, I love it.
The empty city, ready, waiting for a population to arrive.
Well, there's museums. I think there's like 2 different museums dedicated to foundlings, like WTF. And so, I forget what her name is, but there's people that talk about that there's like 1,000 years missing, and it kind of started in 1850, 1890. That's kind of like, I think that's in the What on Earth Happened documentary, but that's like, whoa. Because I've thought for the longest time, with no citations or anything, but that how can we be sure that time is right? Our dates, the years and.
Oh, for sure. And calendars, changing calendars here, there, and
Right.
everywhere. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, sure. Okay. Doing a little switcheroo game for whatever reason. Who knows? I mean, you really have to be a historian to be on top of
Just rebuttal what you just said there.
What?
Can I just rebuttal about your earlier point?
It wasn't a point. We were talking about a documentary, but sure, if you want to bring.
No, we're talking about with our master. I think.
Wait, say that again, but slower.
The topic you're talking about with Master, the other guy who's a globe Earther, I'm presuming.
Can we get a
Master?
Google Translate, please?
I said, what were you guys talking about before?
We are talking about two different documentaries from someone referred to on the internet called EWAR. One of them
okay.
is...
I thought we were talking about Gravity. Sorry, my bad.
No, well, we were a little bit ago, but one of them is called The Lost History of Flat Earth, and in particular, episode 7, where they talk about the moon. And that would be in reference to the last post I made in live stream voice text. But there's also another really good documentary included in the Google Drive link that I posted, and it's called The Lost What on Earth Happened. And it's more of the big picture.
Documentaries that are based on not any proof whatsoever. Jesus fucking Christ! Get a life, you dumb fucks! Holy shit! You guys are parasitical this earth! You deserve to be fucking.
That does nothing.
Calm down, bro.
Does nothing.
Let's see what he has to say about gravity.
That's not helpful.
What he has to say about gravity, that's amazing.
Demonic
Wow. Round of applause. Round of applause.
Just got possessed.
I like to quote Whitsitt. You're mad because the air's not a ball, bro?
Right?
Yeah, don't make it weird.
Don't make this weird.
He just made it weird. Holy shit.
That was really weird. He needs some medication.
Kind
That's the
of
thing.
coming.
That's sad.
Globers
That
take
sucks.
this thing as like a religion.
It's sad for him.
I mean, I'm not a doctor.
hear
You
that?
might need a doctor, bro.
I can feel wherever he is from there. I can feel his insecurities ruining his whole life. Did you see how hard he was screaming right towards the end there? Holy shit, that's terrible. That's terrible for him. Man, I hope he can get some help on that one. A little self work.
Yeah, that's just that beginning stages.
Like projecting much. Like, I mean, I don't know if it's got to do with like a bad relationship, or you're still like in the closet, or what. Something's frustrating you, and I'm starting to think it might be the fact that there ain't a ball, bro.
Yeah,
it could be that he's trolling us and he's got an audience, you know, at home or whatever. But years down the line, he'll realise he was trolling himself. You know, that's going to be the good realization.
Well, if his psyche can withstand it, yeah. That's going to be a big deal, man, when all of these liars have to, you know, admit it, that they've been lying the whole time.
Yeah, this stuff really changes your perspective and your life. You know, so like waking up to it is like a big deal because you realize that like you've been lied to your whole entire life, and some people just can't accept it.
Yep.
Like they can't get their mind around flat Earth.
Oh, they understand it just fine.
Because they think they're smarter than that. They think that they're too smart to be fooled. There's no way they could be fooled.
No way.
Hey, God Rockin'.
And some of them have paid for their indoctrination, so it's a little more ingrained in them to defend it.
We'll find out that if they agree with it, they know that they've been lied to, then makes them out to be a fool, an idiot, a moron, which they are. And they can't stomach that.
They can't stomach it. But they don't understand it's a choice to not have to feel like that anymore. Just embrace the truth. Embrace it.
Yeah.
That's it. Just accept it. It's not acceptance. Radical acceptance, you know, to a point, I guess, but
well, I agree.
embrace the
That's
truth.
That's what we all had to do.
Well, yeah, you have to. Acceptance is part of understanding it, I suppose. Yeah.
Listen, man, if you ain't accepting truths in life and being humbled, then you ain't growing and you ain't going nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna be the same person your entire life if you don't suck up the truth and accept it.
It's a function of not wanting to do the work in order to both admit that, hey, man, you got fooled, and that's okay, and do the necessary work to truly understand where you live and upon what you live.
Yeah.
Well, can you imagine thinking about how they feel, how stupid flat earthers are, and then all of a sudden they have to realize that I'm even more stupid than they are? Oh my God.
Yeah, that's why I said I don't know if the collective Glober psyche is going to be able to truly handle that. I think you're going to see a lot of people having crises in their lives, mentally and emotionally. But, yeah, I hope not. I hope people can just grow up, right?
Well, yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Well, we already saw a little bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if that kid were in front of one of us. He'd probably start swinging.
Maybe. Probably not with me.
Well, yeah, until he saw us. Then he'd be like, actually,
Well,
no.
I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? There was so much vitriol in what he was doing. In less than 5 seconds, he showed us everything about himself.
Yeah.
But then again, like, you can't really take people for being 100% true in themselves over the internet. I mean,
well, yeah,
I know us guys like pride ourselves on being honest. It's not an attribute that everyone holds dearly, especially on the internet.
You know what's actually interesting about that is, like, when it comes to like business ethics and shit like that, when you start to get to high tier, like big money making positions, like you know, what's right and what's legal become a major talking point. You know, and most people don't give a fuck about what's right, it's about what's legal. And the system needs that type of mentality. That's the way people think. If you can get away with it, then so be it. Like, lie through your teeth to get through life. That's what's taught to people.
That's kind of sick. People have these big egos nowadays.
Yep, man, that's called moral relativism, right? Where morality is relative to either laws or something. So
like social conditioning,
personalized laws. Like, I think this is okay, so it's fine for me to do this.
Well, that guy was given 110%. There's no doubt about that. I sort of miss the days where, you know, we didn't worry about the live stream and just let those guys go for a while. I mean, that was a pretty good build up there. He was going somewhere with that. That was an epic rager. We sort of missed those. They used to be awesome. You know, this blows people's minds, and yeah, they're going to reject it. And just experiencing that, right? Letting them release those emotions is healthy for them, healthy for us. You know, to recognize how big a deal this really is, right? Like, people are just losing their shit over flat Earth. What? Like, come on.
Yeah, you wouldn't get so mad if we weren't right. Come on now, it's obvious.
That's true.
And we wouldn't be here if you had evidence. That's also really obvious.
And that was after the conversation about the moon. So I don't know if that triggered something deep inside of him. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
Could have been.
Yeah, because we weren't even
I
talking
think we're
about
just mad
gravity.
because we have.
Didn't he
you guys
bring up
have some
gravity?
evidence.
Well, the thing is, it didn't take long. It was all set up. Here's the way he worked. Everything about him being serious, that was all fake. His goal was to do what he did, and in his circle of friends, he accomplished his goal, and he's epic for it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely. He tried lulling us into the false sense of security as if he's a cordial guy and actually wants to learn. But yeah, definitely.
But the thing is that him and his group of friends who think that's hilarious, they've been destroyed over and over and over again. And they're either there just being paid to troll, or they do it because they think it's a sport, or but they're not like intellectuals. We don't need to waste our time talking about them anymore.
Mhm.
Pretty much, like.
Man, you're right about that. They're far from intellectuals. Just think about all the people on the internet that they see the internet as, oh, now I can be whoever I want to be. I can act however I want to act and tell people I'm this, I'm that, I'm rich, I'm whatever. Now, imagine how many people use the internet for that purpose alone, just so they can go out and just be whoever they want to be. Make believe shit. I'll bet
wear whatever mask
millions of people do that shit.
Yeah, man, that's so true. But what you said, everybody lives on social media now, and that's their life. But when you go out into the public, the real world, then it's a different story.
I can't stand it, man. Like Facebook, I stopped using Facebook about 2 years ago, like probably 3 years ago, properly actually using it how you would normally use it. And now all I do is just spam it with good flat Earth videos. That's all I use Facebook for. I don't speak to anyone on there. I just, oh, this was good. I'll have to share this. If someone wants to watch it, they can watch it.
Yeah, that's the thing with us. Like we're all, like intellectuals, looking for things that we can learn about. The mind-provoking things we can learn about, and that's all we do. We just want to learn.
Well, see, like I've never actually looked up the true definition of intellectual, but like my understanding of it is like somebody who's on the same level as you, basically, like in layman's terms. So like they're not on people who act like that are not on our level. So like, don't waste your time with them, bro.
And I think it's a level of honesty. I think it always comes back to honesty. Like we're just able to be honest, and they're not.
I would call myself conscious instead of intellectual. Because I think intellectuals, they're smart, but they're just like all data and all facts. Like they want everything to be right. But like a conscious person, like I guess, has an open mind and they like to learn more. You get what I mean?
Go where the information takes you instead of trying to understand every single aspect of the information.
Yeah.
But NASA
never has a straight answer.
That's all I have to say.
But I saw it on TV.
Don Pettit. That's all I have to say.
Just a little bit more about, since I seem to be the PR guy lately. Like what I just did there, it's a more sophisticated, taking the higher ground route of weeding out the trolls, because that's the other name for it. Those are fucking trolls I'm talking about. So instead of calling them trolls, fucking take the high ground and beat the shit out of them on a sophisticated level. That's how we win this shit as flat earthers.
Damn right.
When I listen to Don Pettit talk, it sounds like he's talking to kindergartners or something. He's got this little, real diminished way about it himself. He sounds like a child almost trying to explain things. It's really strange. I just don't.
Yeah.
He's just not the brightest bulb in the socket, I'm here to say.
To me, it sounds like he maybe did too many drugs or something. I don't know. Like he's injured in his brain. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But then he uses big words like nanosecond and all these other words that try to, like, I don't know, that people will cling on to. to make it seem like he maybe is smart. I can't stand him. That Neil Tyson, right? He's been showing up on the short clips, and it's hilarious what he talks about. It's kind of sad.
He just appears to be challenged to me. That's all. Mentally challenged in some way.
You guys talking about Neil deGrasse Tyson?
I think he's talking about Pettit, but Tyson, he just goes on his little deep voice rambles, and I can't stand him either.
He's like a musician.
Have you seen him? High? I can show you when he was high. Give me just a moment.
I love that video.
Was he smoking the reefer with Elon Musk?
Just
Yeah.
literally, he is high as fuck, even if it's in fast mode. But the slow mo puts it in perspective. Like literally puts it in perspective. It's a live stream.
Was this recent?
Here, I'm gonna just play it. It's actually funny as hell. What is it? M play? Yeah.
There's actually one of his quotes that I can't find.
Isaac Newton. I mean, just you read his writings. Hair stands up on. I don't have hair there, but if I did, it would stand up on the back of my neck. You read his writing. The man was connected to the univerce. In ways that I've never seen another human being connected. It's kind of spooky.
Man's definitely on shrooms.
He discovers the laws of optics. Figures out that white light is composed of colors. That's kind of freaky right there. You take the colors of the rainbow, put them back together, you get white light again. That freaks out the artists of the day. The laws of optics.
That's kind of freaky, right?
Discovers the laws of motion.
It'd be awesome.
My gosh,
and the universal law of gravitation.
The gravitation?
Then a friend of his says, well, why do these orbits of the planets, why are they in the shape of an ellipse? Sort of flattened circle. Why aren't they some other shape? And he said, I don't know.
Yeah, dude, this is funny as hell, like small riddle clips.
So it goes home, comes back.
Yeah.
A couple months later. Here's why. They're actually conic sections of a cone that you cut. And
I bet.
They said, well, how did you find this out? How did you determine this? Well, I had to invent integral and differential calculus to determine this. He turned 26.
Then he turned 26.
He's already finished.
You on a reverb.
You can turn that into a
Then
sketch
he
show.
turned 26. We've got people slogging through calculus in college.
Come on, Hugh, get to the point.
Learn what
I know, right?
that Isaac Newton invented on a dare, practically.
rat picture.
Dude, I just wish
that's
like you're
my
really
man.
bugging it right now.